Welcome and thank you for joining us. I'm Jackie Ives, your host for the video summit, Make Him Fall Madly in Love. 21 experts are sharing keys and tools to help you discover how to attract love, keep it real, and make it last forever. And today I'm delighted to introduce to you Alina Frank. She's one of the top EFT specialists, and she's going to share with us how to break through emotional freedom techniques and what that is. And so welcome, Alina. Thank you so much for being here.
Hi, Jackie. It's a pleasure to be here.
I don't know much about EFT. I've done it a couple times, so I'm really thrilled that you agreed to be a part of the summit, because I know the audience, as well as myself, would love to know more about it and how you just how you came into to be an EFT tapper. And you're one of the top. You're considered one of the top tapping coaches in the world. And before we get started, I just want to tell the audience a little bit more about you.
Great.
And so you've been consistently rated the top EFT tapping coach since 2009. Congratulations. I love that you specialize in helping women find, then break hidden patterns to why they always seem to attract the wrong guy. You've been contributing author of over 8 EFT books, and you're currently completing for EFT Great Sex Manual. So you're currently completing the EFT for Great Sex Manual. That's incredible. I'll look for that. Together with your soulmate and earthmate, Craig Weiner, you train and mentor EFT coaches around the world through EFT tapping and training.com. Thank you so much for being here. I'm excited about the topic that you wanted to talk about, top 3 secrets of getting him now.
Yeah.
That's
Yes.
a good one.
Yeah, it's so, I think as women, it really does, if we have that part of our lives together in order, blissfully content, then all the other things sort of fall into place. Money, career, family issues, they really seem to smooth out the edges, even if those other parts of your life are sort of challenging. I think as women, if we have that strong foundation of a loving romantic relationship, it really does ease the pain of everything else. And so it's my pleasure. It took me a long time to figure this out for myself, and now that I'm in the kind of relationship that I really want every woman to experience, I can speak from a place of conviction and authority that there's nothing else like it. When you're in that kind of relationship, there's nothing else like it.
Absolutely. I was inspired to do this summit because I was going through a divorce and spent years working on healing myself, forgiving, and letting go. And it took me a long time to do that. I feel like there's a lot of tools and strategies out there now that it doesn't need to take as long. And
Right.
I feel like this emotional freedom technique, EFT, is definitely a way to get you release the pain and move on and let go much faster, according to what I've read. And so what do you think is the most important part of attracting the right partner?
Yeah, the most important thing, and what I've seen with my clients and my students over the years, and I saw for myself, is that it's really important to get clarity about what works for you and what doesn't, and not settling. I see way too many women focused on the idea of how they look, or maybe they have this misconception that every part of them has to be healed before they attract the right person, but they don't spend enough time being ultra selective about what's going to work for them in terms of behaviors, talents, and traits of this particular man that they're calling in, how they're being treated, and of course the chemistry part. And if any of those components are missing and you're not clear about it, then you're going to end up settling, you're going to end up resentful, you're going to try to change the men that you're with, or you're going to try to change yourself. And the hallmark of the kind of relationship I'm really talking about is one where things are easy. I mean, they're really easy. And there's no working at it, there's no struggling, there's no pain. I wake up every morning knowing that I am the most important person in my partner's life. And I get confirmation of that every single day. And there's no question, there's no doubt. And it's almost like women that are in this kind of relationship, you ask them, how's your marriage, how's your partnership, and they'll say it's fine. There's really not much to talk about, and in fact some of us even feel a little bit strange because we know that if we show it too much, other people are going to, then compare themselves to what you have and see that they don't measure up, because there are so few relationships out there that I really believe fall under this category. Like I said, it's a matter of not settling for anything less but your ideal partner, and getting clarity about that. And lots of dating is fine so that you can get clarity about, like, no, 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 close but not quite, and then get really, really clear, write that down, and really bring that to yourself once you have that clarity, instead of just kind of living it up to the winds, like, oh yeah, I met this guy at a bar, or I met this guy on a blind date, letting that just take over, and then if he likes me, then I should start to like him. No, it doesn't work that way. You really need to take the time to assess what's going to work for you, and every woman is completely unique about what is going to make her happy.
And so I love that you're talking about just getting clarity and getting clear on what it is you want. And so besides the dating and the process of elimination, is there, you recommend journaling, making a list? What other things can you do to get clear besides?
Yeah, no, we actually have, we actually come up with a list, and have you can even go and have this in a small piece of paper, and in the middle of a date you could be checking off your list, like, yes, 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 I'm not sure about this one, I better text. So if there is if one of the things that really that you really want in a romantic partner is that he's very generous, so then you would maybe set up a little bit of a test by asking him some questions like, so, I'm thinking of doing this charity event, or I think I'm going to go, and for Thanksgiving, I think I'm going to go work at a soup kitchen. If that's important to you, then you need to listen to his responses and see, yes, this is a potential partner, or no, and I need to just stop and break it off as soon as possible before the other things start to kind of bleed in that make you attached to the wrong person. So that could be sleeping with someone, keep maintaining the relationship status quo for months and months and months, when in actuality most women know within the first 2 months whether this is going to be a sustaining love of your life or not. The data's out there. Women know, and then they just ignore it, and they keep the relationship going for a variety of different reasons, mostly fear.
Right. Yes, that big fear. And so I love that you said just make the list, because that's what I did. I actually went through and made a list, and I would add to it and move things around, but I used to read it every day.
Yes.
And it really does work, because I know you've done some law of attraction work as well, and
Yeah.
the list works because it is getting clear on what your message you're sending out to the universe on a regular basis, daily, maybe 2 or 3 times a day, on what you really want.
Mm-hmm.
So that's I'm glad that you validated that, because it does work. And I know that you talk about your earth mate and your soulmate and refer to that frequently. Can you, what exactly is it that you mean by that?
Yeah, this is very interesting, and I don't hear too many people talking about this. So sometimes you find yourself attracted to a person who it's almost, you have this deep sense of knowing them. Oh, I know you. There's something about the way that you look, or something that you've said, and all these synchronicities are there, and I feel my sexual juices being turned on and flowing, and I think that means that you are my right partner.
Mm.
Unfortunately, that just might mean that you have some kind of karmic debt to play out with this person. So before you do the added step of chemically bonding and having sex with this person, go through that checklist and see if the rest of the package is there or not. And so when you have an earth mate, that is a person that, like I said, the hallmark of this relationship is that it's easy. You get along. Things flow. There's no arguing. There's no fuss. It's just, it comes natural to be together and support each other and love each other and expand one another. And daily life, day-to-day life is remarkably easy, fun, and exciting. And so that's the earthmate part of it. The soulmate part is the other added dimension of recognition of like, wow, we are meant to be together, and I feel it on a soul level. But I just don't want women to be confused by that initial, like, I see him across a crowded room and suddenly, the sparks go off and he's the one. Do take a step back, really assess the situation, this person, take him through the paces, go through your list, and don't fall into the trap of thinking that that is going to be your romantic partner, because like I said, sometimes that is karmic debt that needs to play out, and it's heartbreaking. And so I'm telling you, you can work out the karmic debt by having this person be your friend. Right? It's a lot easier. You save yourself a lot of heartache if you just decide, okay, so there's something here, obviously. You're not my partner, but there's something here that needs to be played out over time. And I think every woman has been through that experience of just, falling in love with this person and then and knowing that there's something deeper, that there is some kind of karmic connection, and then mistaking that for a long-term partnership, which is earthmate and soulmate.
That's beautiful. And so when you do encounter this person and you have that, like you said, the sparks fly, and just to remain friends with them, that's, I think, probably when women actually don't do that. They think that those are the signs of a great relationship, and they move forward, and they end up with the wrong guy.
Right.
Talk to us a little bit about that.
So if you have your list, you can always refer to it and say, I came up with this for a reason. These are the things that I absolutely have to have, and I won't settle. And just recognizing that there is such a thing as a karmic connection with someone, lots of sexual chemistry, and that they might not be the person, and having a real clear list of talents and traits and behaviors that you want to see in an ideal partnership. That will help you tremendously.
Yeah, I think that's so valuable that you're bringing up the list over and over again, because a lot of women, I find, don't take time to just sit down and really find out what exactly it is they want. They don't do the self-analysis and the work on themselves, but they're just constantly looking for something, and they get caught in that cycle of attracting the wrong men over and over again.
Yes.
And so it's really valuable. So what tools do you recommend to resolve attracting the wrong guy? We have the list going.
Yes. So sometimes it is a matter of you falling into a habit of attracting the wrong person over and over and over again. And when that happens, I really like to look at the reasons why that's happening on a subconscious level. And so I worked with a young woman who, she kept attracting guys that were safe. So lots of earthmate material, no juicy soulmate material. And it was one guy after another, after another, after another. Yes, they fit that list, but the chemistry piece was completely missing. These guys were safe. And so in my work with her, I asked her the question of, well, when was the last time that you had over-the-top heavy chemistry with someone? And she suddenly remembered that she had had a relationship some 20 years before, that it was excruciatingly painful. There was infidelity. It was with a friend of hers. She had walked in on them, and the guy really did not take any responsibility for what happened. He just said, "I'm sorry," and it turns out that the pattern was set even before this man. It started when she was 10 years old. Her mother sat her down and told her that her father was cheating on her with a friend. And so the trauma of that experience, it's something called recapitulation. It's we call these things into our experience in order to heal from them completely. And so, not knowing that that's what's going on, she would have continued to attract that sort of person. But not only that, what was happening currently in her dating life was that it was such a deep fear to attract somebody that had a lot of chemistry that she just kept attracting guys that were safe. And so we had to clear that. Another example is a woman who she was terrified that she was going to be abandoned. And the latest example was that she was dating someone and she was certain that he was going to dump her. And they had a good relationship, but she was really, really insecure. And when we started working together, it came out that not only was she scared of abandonment and rejection from him, but that this had happened for most of her life, where she was feeling a deep sense of abandonment, even if a coworker left her company. Her son had left for college and she felt abandoned. Her first husband had left her, and there was the abandonment issue over and over and over again. So we tracked that back to, she was the daughter of a teenage mom. And her mother dropped her off to live with her grandparents. And she was a teenager, and how most teenagers are, she was trying to live her life and have her daughter raised by her parents. So she would come in back to the home, be there, bond with my client for a little while, and then leave. She'd meet some guy, or she'd go to school, or she'd take a job on the other side of the country. And so there was this pattern of always being abandoned, abandoned, abandoned. We cleared the pain of those early experiences, and not only did her boyfriend not break up with her, he actually asked her to get married. And so that was really beautiful, how in a course of a few sessions it went from I'm really afraid I'm going to be abandoned to him committing and saying that he wanted to be with her the rest of her life. So that was a really nice one.
It's wonderful how you're able to help women tie back whatever it is, if they're on that dating treadmill, tie back to something that happened to them, came into play in their childhood, and be able to get into that subconscious. Do you find a lot of resistance with your clients when you go and approach it to work in the subconscious in their childhood wounds?
No, because I think by the time most women come to me, they've tried a lot of different things, and they're really ready to work, and they want to know what it is that's preventing them. Most conscious, awake, spiritual women know the thought pattern, right, or the belief pattern. They'll say, I don't feel like I'm good enough. I'm easily rejected. I have to be perfect to be loved. All of those sort of big belief systems, they know that it's happening. They just can't stop it from happening again and again and again, and showing up in relationships. And so most women that I work with are at the point where, like, I want to find the root of this thing so that it doesn't happen again. So I'm fortunate that they come to me kind of prepared for that.
Yeah, that pain can be a really great motivator, either pain or pleasure, the two great motivators to change, to create change in your life. So can you share with the audience any of your techniques with EFT, and how that you would use a procedure on someone with this condition?
Sure. I want to put you through a quick exercise here. So I want you to tap on the side of your thumb, on the side of your index finger, on the side of your middle finger, on the side of your ring finger, pinky, and then at the side of the hand. And what we're doing with these points, these are meridian points. These are points that an acupuncturist would use. So we're using the meridian system, same as acupuncture and Chinese medicine. And you're tapping on these points over and over and over again.
Okay.
And when you do that, and you don't have to think about it, you can sort of do it rote, then just go ahead and close your eyes if you feel comfortable. And I want you to imagine that you're coming home at the end of the day and you are walking up to your front door, and you know that behind that front door you are going to be greeted with a wonderful, loving partner. And I don't want you to make him out very clearly. You're just going to sense his energy. And you know it, and you anticipate that excitement and that joy that's there for you when you walk in that door. You just take a moment and you feel gratitude for that. And then you're going to open the door and you're going to step in, and you're going to see, smell, taste, and feel what it's like to come home to a loving partner. Maybe he's making dinner for you, or you see flowers that he has picked or brought home for you, and there's a smell of food, and maybe he runs up to you and he hugs you warmly. And again, don't make out too many details about this man, just the energy behind it. And you feel completely loved in every sense of the word. You're just so loved. And it's easy. And there's deep connection and intimacy between the two of you. And now I want you to just put your hand at your heart center, just at the center of your chest, one hand on top of the other. And you're going to bring in those positive images and especially the feelings in through the top of your head. And they're rewiring all the neural pathways with this new information about your future. And you're going to send all those positive images and feelings, the sights, smells, sounds, tastes, colors that are there, down to all the cells of your body from the top of your head down to your toes. And now you're going to bring all those positive feelings and images and sensory information into your heart center. And if you see any color or light, make it stronger and brighter. And then you're going to exhale all that information out through your heart field, sending it 360 degrees out in every direction with an exhale. And then when you're ready, you can open your eyes. How is that?
Oh, I felt such immense joy and love, and I saw the color green.
Oh, nice.
Yes,
very nice.
Beautiful. It felt really good.
So now the question I want you to sit with is, why aren't you feeling that way for yourself? Why aren't you doing those things to make you feel loved on your own and feeling that tremendous sense of gratitude even before someone steps in? Because that's the energy, believe it or not, that gets him there, is that you feel it already. So do those things for yourself. Love yourself. Treat yourself really well. Love every part of your being. And then a man just steps into that naturally without any effort at all.
That is absolutely right and beautiful, because that love attracts love, like attracts like. And so absolutely give those things to yourself and you will get those things back, especially from a man. Yes. I know men love women that are in love with themselves and happy and content and joyful and beautiful and inside. So it's an inside job. And thank you, Alina. That was really exquisite. And so you have a wonderful free gift for us. Can you tell us a little bit about what you're offering our audience? We're really excited about it.
Yes. So another thing that happens is that we kind of hang around, like I mentioned at the beginning, we hang around in a relationship that doesn't quite serve us. And we linger and we linger and we struggle, and we kind of want Prince Charming to ride in on a horse and rescue us from a bad relationship when we know that it just needs to end. Or you're not sure, is it really me? Do I have things to clean up inside of myself that are preventing me from really having this relationship be all that it can be. So we have a program called When to End It, When to Stay. And if you go to whentoendit.com, you will be able to get the first free video in this lesson and actually learn how to do EFT on your own to clear up some of this baggage that we hang on to that prevents us from having the romantic relationship that we really want.
Wow, that's wonderful. I think that's such a valuable tool because a lot of women do get in fear and they do want to hold on, maybe until they find something else. But again, like you said, they're just taking the baggage with them into the next potential relationship, and they really haven't resolved it. And probably attracting the same man in a different body. So,
unfortunately, yes.
yeah, and so I wanted to just let the audience know that they can find the link to that free gift on the body of the email that you received to join the summit, and so you can go back to your inbox and find that. And just thank you again, Alina Frank, for being here today and sharing your wisdom with us, and I look forward to watching you and seeing your book that's coming out. Looking forward to that. What is it called again? Let me see. Great sex, EFT for great sex.
EFT for great sex.
Yeah, that's fascinating. I'm going to take a look at that. All the help that we can get. Thank you so much. You're certainly an expert in this field, and I've enjoyed our interview today.
Thank you, Jackie.
I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.